I would like to thank Scorpio Guy for sending me this story, and it's coming out of Wisconsin. Some of you may have heard about this story about this teacher who uh, called some of her students the N word, and as you can see at the on the picture, you can see in the caption it says nigga. It looked like it was written six times because they're captioning how many times she said it, but of course they blur out the rest of the word, but you know exactly what she said. But the thing that got me and the rest of the people is as to why she used it. They asked her why she decided to use that word, and she said because she had a black nanny. Why does that sound like the same thing that white people say when they say, "Oh, I have a black friend. Oh, I have a black spouse or, black significant other." She said because she had a black nanny. Now, I don't know if she's saying she has a black nanny for her kids or she had a black nanny when she was growing up that her parents got for her. So I don't really know when and what point in her life she had a black nanny. But let's just say she had one when she was a child. That lets you know right there she's coming from a very privileged background right then and there. And basically, when I'm reading the article, it's saying how it was students in a class that I guess they were talking to each other and probably casual conversation, and they were saying the word, and then that's when she probably overheard it, and she came back and started engaging into the conversation with them and yelling out that word from across the room. And you can tell she probably had that on her mind for quite some time, and she really wanted to release it. When I'm looking at the caption and I look at how her hand position, even though they have her face blurred out, it reminds me of that whole thing with Michael Richards, Kramer from Seinfeld. Remember when he was doing that stand up a few years ago, and he kept saying that word over and over and over again to some black people in the audience. I guess they were hecklers, and he kept calling them that. That's what this right here kind of reminds me of. Now, I don't have any audio or anything like that attached to play so you can actually hear her saying it, but as you can see right here, she clearly did say it. And it said that now she is on paid administrative leave. And it said also there's no additional details that they can offer. And I'm looking at this article right here, and it says she was brought up by a nanny. So there it is right there. And let me address the whole First Amendment thing right quick. White people, when they say, "Oh, I have the First Amendment right. Oh, you're doing this to me. You're punishing me because this, that, and the third, and you're violating my First Amendment right." Listen, they abuse that First Amendment right like it is nothing. They feel that because the First Amendment says freedom of speech, that yeah, you can use the freedom of speech. Yes, she did say that word. However, she was caught saying that word. She knows she wasn't supposed to. So now she has the freedom of consequence. See, they feel that because they have that First Amendment right, that they can say whatever they want and face no consequence. And that's how many of them are. Like, notice how every single time a white person does something or says something, they always say, "Oh, you're violating my First Amendment right. You're violating my First Amendment right. That's not right. I'm going to sue. I'm going to bring up a lawsuit because this, that, and the third." Bring up the lawsuit, but guess what? It probably won't really go anywhere. In their case, it probably will, or it might. It's a very small might. But they feel that there should be no consequence for whatever they say. Just like if they were to go up to a black person and start using that word, they'll be upset and then probably start crying like, "You hit me," or all I was doing was using my First Amendment right, and all types of stuff. They feel that should be no violation or any consequence anytime they say that word. And they'll try to cover it up by saying, "Oh, you're violating my First Amendment right." That's not how this works. But they feel that's how it is. They feel like this is how it works or how it should work for them. Like, really, look at how a lot of these racists act when they say certain things and how they quickly come back whenever they get called to the floor and they say you're violating my First Amendment right. They do it every single time. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this story down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe.